Have you been hearing about law of attraction? Is there anyone on the planet who hasn't been hearing about law of attraction? But you know what they're missing? Law of attraction is this powerful law laying like a magnifying glass over all vibrations. And do you know what you're thinking today and what you're speaking about today is only a tiny part of the equation of law of attraction's response to vibration, because there is this non-physical part of you, this vibrational part of you that law of attraction is responding to, and then there's this actively focused in your physical form, what's coming out of your mouth right now part of you, and law of attraction is responding to both of those vibrational frequencies. And if you're not up to speed with this, then law of attraction is pulling you apart, and that's what negative emotion is. Negative emotion is how you feel when you got two signals going on that aren't in alignment with one another. The art of allowing, the art of alignment is coming into vibrational alignment with what you have been asking for. Another way of saying it is you have to keep up with what you've become, or you don't feel good in that what feels like separation. There's never a separation. There's just a tugging sometimes from who you are. So we want to talk to you today about what it feels like when you begin to close the gap. You don't even have to close the gap. You just have to be in the motion of moving in the direction of closing the gap rather than in the direction of pulling it apart. In other words, if you're really worried about something and you soothe yourself and try to look for positive aspects and try to make yourself feel better by choosing thoughts that feel better rather than demanding the impossible, which is an instant manifestation of something to fix it. When you use the power of your mind to close the gap, you immediately begin feeling relief. Think about the rubber band or the bungee cord when you're doing your resistance exercise. Think about the tension of those pulling apart. Feel the tension as you're pulling that rubber band against itself. And now think of the feeling of relief if you were to deliberately move in the direction of it. It's exactly the same thing. When you allow yourself to move in the direction of who you've become, you feel wonderful. You don't even have to catch up, nor can you ever completely catch up until you croak. Just thought we'd throw that in. With who you are, you'll never really catch up, but you sure can take the tension off. And that's what a feeling of relief will do for you. That's what looking for thoughts that feel better. That's what reaching for a better feeling thought. That's what a rampage of appreciation. That's what caring about how you feel and trying to find a thought that feels a little better will do for you. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important. We think we've made our point to you. You are more than you know, usually, in your physical form. Much, much more. And it is that larger part of you that is the most active vibrational part of you. So many of you say, so if the source energy part of me is so important, then why would I bother to project my consciousness into this mortal human experience? Why would I do that? And we say, because that larger part of you understands the value of contrast, which helps you to define who you are and what you want. Without contrast, you don't define. And with contrast, as you define, the source part of you expands. And since we are all eternal beings, what could be more appropriate than eternal expansion, you see? The only part of the equation that ever gets out of whack or unhappy is the human part of the physical experience, where life has caused you to expand, but your beliefs and attitudes and moods and opinions don't let you go with your own expansion. When you contradict who you have become, when you don't keep up with who you are, you just don't feel good. But not to worry. In the moment of your croaking experience, you'll be right back up to speed. We just don't think you should have to wait until you croak. We think that you should be able to have an idea of something that you want from your place of not having it. We think that it should be given birth to as it is. We think that you should be able to feel the slight discord between your habits of thought and your expansion. And we think you ought to be able to turn your attention in the direction of what you want and talk about why you want it and play with the idea of it and imagine it and line up with it until you feel yourself come into alignment with it. And we think every part of that process should and will feel good. And then we think it is so wonderful that as you come into vibrational alignment with it, that now the universe will yield to you the means to achieve it. And now you get to watch the manifestations of your desires being offered to you, offered to you, offered to you, circumstances and events lined up for you. And as you now experience the manifestation of it, now not only do you receive the full benefit of what contrast caused you to give birth to, not only do you receive the full benefit of the manifestation, the fullness of it, but the best part is you get a new vantage point, a new set of contrasting experiences, which gives birth to yet another new idea to which you are not currently a vibrational match. So now you reach for the feeling place of it. You do your best to line up with it. You think about the positive aspects of it. You tell the story of it. You look for reasons to feel good about it. You give yourself the benefit of the doubt. You talk about how well-being comes to you. You line up with it vibrationally, not by trying to figure out how it will come and when it will come and who will bring it and where it will come from, but by thinking about what you want and why you want it. And as you line up with it, then another clicking into place, another manifestation, and a new vantage point from which to want. So life causes you to ask for it. At first, you're not a vibrational match to it. You talk about it, you line up with it, you become a match to it, you become a match to it, it manifests a new vantage point, you give birth to something more. At first, you're not a match to it, you work to line up with it, you line up with it, now it manifests. And so then you say, we hear you, it's a sort of vicious cycle of becoming, isn't it? We say, it's not a vicious cycle, but it is a cycle. It's a cycle of never-ending expansion. And when you get the hang of this never-ending expansion, when you stop caring about how soon you manifest that, how soon you get over there, and instead you stand back knowing that you are on your way to over there, and when it happens is irrelevant because the whole point of it was to give you a reason to point in the direction of it, and that what life is about is expanding and becoming and expanding and becoming. Now you begin enjoying the ride. Now you begin enjoying the journey. Now you begin being the creative being that you are. You didn't come into these bodies to get life done, and you did not come to fix things that are broken. There aren't any of those. You came because you saw this as an environment, a perfect environment for you, to help you from your magnificent and unique vantage point to conjure your own ideas about what is preferred from your perspective, knowing that once you give birth to it, that vibrationally it is done, and then it is only your work. Not work, it is only your play. Then it is your calling to come into alignment with what you've given birth to. You knew life would help you set goals, but you knew the achieving of the goal isn't the living of the life. It's the moving in the direction of it that is the giving of the life, you see. Moving in the direction of the new and expanded idea will make you eternally life. Now what? What do you want to talk about? Further back? Yes.